Hey everyone, today I'm going to showcase what it is I've learned in this course and then share a lesson with you that has integrated both the music and literary arts. And so I've created a presentation that has organized some of my thoughts, and so I'll go ahead and walk you through that. Some of the things that I've really learned throughout time spent in this course and some of the literature that I've read is that art integration can benefit both the teachers and the learners, as there's a lot to be said from learning from our students. It's also proven to deepen understanding and increase student engagement, allowing students to express themselves very uniquely. Oftentimes, and many students are not necessarily able to express what it is they fully know and understand on a pencil and paper. And so, giving them the opportunity to explore themselves through the arts, I think, is pretty cool. It also can be easily incorporated into all content areas, from science to math to social studies to English. And so that's a pretty neat feature, I think, as well. It helps students make real world connections to whatever content it is you are teaching. And I think making that real world connection and that why piece that sometimes we get as teachers, why is this important, is pretty essential. And it also engages students in 21st century skills. Some of those main components that we're really trying to push forward and teach students how to be able to communicate, think critically, ask higher level questions, collaborate with their peers, and be creative and unique in the same sense. Art has really proven to enhance those abilities. And so, whether it's the literary arts, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's the visual arts, I think all across the board, they're all pretty important. And so, I'm going to showcase to you a lesson that I have chosen to incorporate music and the literary arts. One of the biggest units that we have in US history is the Vietnam War. And so, one of our standards is for students to look at and analyzed the anti-war sentiment during the Vietnam War on the home front. And so, looking at some of the objectives, students should be able to explain the anti war sentiment, so understand the why. Why did it happen? Why was there such a pushback from society during that time period? And then through the music and through the literature, they have to justify the anti war sentiment. So, through the music and through the piece that they read, why did that happen? Why was there the pushback? Why were these feelings there? And so I'm going to start with the music component first. And I have created, um, it's a copy front and back that students will get. I won't read you this piece, but basically it just states how music typically was very fun and upbeat. Life was fun, life was good. There wasn't necessarily a meaningful message embedded in music. However, during the Vietnam War, as protesters became much more insightful on what it is they were trying to push out and roll out, they turned to music. And music really became a popular tool to kind of recruit people into this feeling. And so some of those meaningless lyrics were replaced with things that were more meaningful and thought provoking. And so after that short introduction, students under their task, they are going to, in groups, so groups of two I would recommend, they're going to search for a Vietnam War era protest song. And I'm going to list a bunch of potential artists that they could look and kind of search for and really pull out a song that addresses the anti-war sentiment during the Vietnam era. And so, just for organization, I know high school students are a little bit older and should be more mature, but they too oftentimes need that organization and that structure. And so, I've kind of outlined the introduction, the body, and the conclusion for what it is they're going to be looking for. And so, that first slide, they're going to obviously want to, in their PowerPoint, address the name of the song, the artist, the year that it was released, a picture of the artist or the band, and then the background information. Why did this particular band or musician write this song? Was there something that happened that provided insight into them creating this particular song? The body of the presentation will really be kind of the guts of the project. Um, they're going to have to provide a classroom copy of the lyrics so that we can see the words as the song is being played. They're going to have to dissect the song and tell us, what is the overall message of this song? And so I tell them to think about the tone. look at the lyrics, cite specific evidence that leads them to concluding, this is the message or this is what this particular artist is trying to say. And then, is there a specific event that this song is talking about? Maybe they are talking about the release of the Pentagon Papers or the Tonkin Gulf Resolution. Or is this song addressing, maybe they're talking about the unfairness in the draft and the manipulation that took place? So, really pointing out what it is we are looking for and the overall message. And then in conclusion, once they play the song and the class can look at the lyrics and listen to the song, they have to consider why this song made such an impact on the citizens during the time period, or why was this song such an effective and powerful form of protest versus, those thousands of people that were standing outside with their protest signs. Why was this so different, and why was music key during this time period? And then, of course, on the back side, they have the assessment piece. They'll have their rubric. So they can look at what it is they need to incorporate into their presentation and what I will be grading them on. The total points is about 50. And so on the left-hand side, you can see it ranges from advanced to novice. The content also the content knowledge and the analysis will be key. Students, I'm looking for that they're demonstrating the full understanding of what it is I pointed out to them on that first sheet. Organization, they have to make sure they're practicing and that they're polished so that they can present in a very organized format, and so it's not just a free-for-all. And then the communication piece. Are they up there and they are holding the attention of their peers? They're making direct eye contact. They're being enthusiastic about what it is they're presenting on so that it captivates all learners. And so I really stress that they take a look at this and organize their thoughts and practice, and that they're able to come ready to present and really understand what it is we're looking for. And that goes back to these lesson objectives. Okay, and then furthermore, they are going to reflect on a short story. It's titled On the Rainy River. It's actually a chapter out of one of Tim O'Brien's books. Once they're done reading that short chapter, they're going to reflect through an exit slip on a couple questions. And I've ranged these questions from those that are pretty basic in inquiry and those that are more reflective. And so asking, what does the Rainy River represent to the author? And then maybe justifying why this story represents the anti-war sentiment, and so linking it back to the objectives. And this story is pretty captivating, and so I think students will really have some good reflection on what it is they are reading. And again, that will be done through kind of an exit slip style piece. And then to conclude my showcase, I guess for further interest, and I won't necessarily have time to play this entire clip, but on YouTube, I found an interesting video that dives into a school that has really placed a lot of focus on the arts and how teachers that are learning through the arts, doing it themselves, and then obviously portraying that message to the students have really learned a lot. And so if you have time, go ahead and dive into this video. I'll play just a little piece for you. The San Juan School District.
Action! What's that noise?
This may look like a chaotic mess, but it's not. These are teachers learning new tools. They're being given techniques to integrate the arts into their classrooms.
Hey, Captain! I see the island! Everyone copy me?
It's a very effective way for students to learn and for teachers to learn also from each other.
We want kids to be laughing and having a good time. But when it's their turn to do something, our job as the teacher is to coach for them to commit to it and to focus and put their full self into it.
This may
Okay, so that's just again, if you want to go ahead and watch the whole thing, it's about 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. And I thought that was a pretty cool piece that represents what it is we're looking at and why we're studying art integration. And so thank you for your time. I hope you've enjoyed the showcase, and I've really enjoyed learning through this course. And so thanks again.